Let's do some vintage style Valentine's crafting. This video is a part of the monthly Just Our Imagination Challenge playlist that is hosted by Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIY, Kathy Jo at Kathy Jo DIYs, and this month the co-host is me. As always, we have 3 challenge items we must craft with in our video. This month, the challenge items are a paper clip, cardboard, and a hair scrunchie. Yeah, this month was a doozy. I can't wait to see what the other crafters came up with, but let's see what I did with these. On with the crafting. At Christmas time, I really wanted to make more assemblages than what I did. We just take a bunch of little different things that are the same theme and maybe color scheme, and you put them together and just make a nice little assemblage of all of the things. So I thought I would make some this year for Valentine's. With this one, I took some of these heart doilies from the Dollar Tree and I tea stained some of them, but I'll only be using one of these for this craft. One of the challenge items was a paper clip. So I took this paper clip here and I straightened it out and tried my best to straighten out where the wire was bent. And I wrapped the wire around my needle nose pliers, making a tight spiral. Took this wooden spool here and I wrapped some twine that I got from the Dollar Tree around it just to make it more decorative. I burned away all the hairs there on that twine with a lighter, and then I went ahead and hot glued that little photo holder inside of the wooden spool, and I did sit that on one of my silicone cupcake liners so that whenever the hot glue dripped down inside there, it would peel away easily and not be attached to the surface. I got this tin from the Dollar Tree, and that's what our assemblage is going to be inside of. You might be asking, is she making another top hat? And the answer is yes. But look at this little cardinal. It's got a pretty flat head, and it's just asking for a top hat to be put on it. So I just took a little piece of thin cardboard and a piece of a wooden dowel, and I glued those together and just painted it black, curving up the sides of the cardboard on 2 of the sides to give it that top hat shape. I made him a little boutonniere just off of a trimming from some little florals, and I did paint that little flower red there instead of leaving it white. Took another wooden spool and I cut off the sides on one side there so that it would sit more flat and not be so rolly. I put some velvet ribbon around that spool to make it match the theme better. Okay, I know I've got some new subscribers here since last month, so if you've never heard of this playlist, the basics are each month the hosts and co-host each pick a challenge item, so 3 challenge items total, and all the crafters that join in on the playlist have to craft with those items. Then the hosts pick a winner that they thought used the challenge items in the most creative way. Then that crafter gets to co-host the next month. It's the second Monday of every month, and I usually join in because it's a lot of fun, except when the challenge items are really challenging, but either way, entertaining to watch. Decorated his hat with a little piece of red ribbon, glued his hat to his head, and for his boutonniere, I needed to add a little something else to it, so I just glued a little piece of twine to it to act sort of like the wrapping that you often see on a boutonniere. I glued that to him, and then I glued him to the spool. I got this Valentine's card off of thegraphicsfairy.com. I sized it down smaller so that it would fit in the assemblage on this little photo holder. I put some trim around the inside of the box, and I alternated between hot glue and Titebond glue. That way I could be continuing the craft, but that the Titebond glue would be the permanent hold. I took that doily that I tea stained, and I'm going to put it in the back of the tin here. I just used a glue tape runner, I believe that's what it's called, to attach that in the back there. It's difficult to not get your head in the shot whenever you're trying to see if something's even because you have to look directly over it. The tight bond is really what's going to hold these things in here. The hot glue really is just so I can continue doing the craft without having to wait on that glue to set up. I have this little wood cutout that I got from a pack from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hang it next to the bird, and it's going to be hanging from some paper clips, and I'm just punching a couple of holes in the tin to give something for that paper clip to hang on to. I have these paper roses here, and I'm going to paint a couple of them red. I'm just trying to add a bunch of different little elements inside this tin to make the assemblage. I'm actually not very good at assemblages. I'm not good at knowing how to layer things and make it look good. It takes me, I think, longer than it takes others, that are better at it to do it. But I figured that practice makes perfect, and I really like them. I think they're really cute, so I'm just going to keep trying. I have these two wood laser cutout leaves I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to give them a coat of green paint. I'm going to fill the bottom or some of the bottom with these faux pearl beads, just random sizes and random colors too, to just add something to the bottom here. I made sure to glue that one red rose on the leaves on top of some silicone so that I could peel that up after it's set up, and then I just added it sort of to the wall inside the tin here. I wanted to add a little something else. I thought it would be cute to make him a pipe. So I took the end of a toothpick and stained it with some antique wax, and I have one of these wooden beads here, so that'll make the toothpick piece and the wooden bead similar colors. I'm just gonna jam that right in the corner of his mouth, and then I will glue the bead on the end, and that'll make it look like a little pipe. I had it in my head that this little bird is getting all dressed up because he's getting married, and so I thought that a pipe, would go along with that as well. I took a piece of cotton off of a Q-tip to make some smoke coming out of the pipe. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any future videos. Those are free ways to support my channel, and they are greatly appreciated. I got my inspiration for this next craft from a Home Talk article. I saw it on Pinterest, but the link led to Home Talk, and this was the crafter there on Home Talk. I'm not sure how Home Talk works, if this crafter works for Home Talk, I'm not sure, but this is the crafter if you wanted to go check out her work. I needed a heart shape, and I was tracing around on my iPad. The marker was sort of activating, like I was touching it, so it was making the screen move, so I had to switch to a pencil. I did fold that in half because I wanted to make sure that both sides were the same before I cut it out. I traced around and made 2 of these hearts with some cardboard. I have seen where people spray the paper on the outside of the cardboard with water and then remove it, but it didn't really seem that necessary. It didn't take that long just to pick it off while it was dry. I did take some sandpaper and smooth up those the corrugation there where it had the different pieces sort of sticking up on it, and that made it look much better. I put some coffee grounds in some hot water and then just soaked this paper that I had. I've had this piece of paper with this script on it for a while. I had it in my stash, and I just thought this would be a good time to use it. I got this sign at the Dollar Tree back in the summer, and I'm just going to pop off the words there that are sticking up and also peel off as much paper as I can, and then whatever's left, I'm going to spray it with water and scrape that off. I went ahead and traced around the larger heart, and then also got a wooden smaller heart that I had and used that and traced around because I needed a smaller heart as well. I just used my glue tape runner to attach the paper to the front of this heart here. I got these scrunchies from the Dollar Tree, so this is my scrunchie craft here, and I'm going to cut 2 little holes in the scrunchie close together and take one of these tiny zip ties that I got from the Dollar Tree in this pack, and I'm gonna gather up the scrunchie onto this zip tie. At first, I did not watch to make sure that the end of the zip tie didn't go into the scrunchie, and it did, and I just lost the end of the zip tie. So I got smart and I clamped it so that I can continue my gathering there. And then once I got both ends, one out of each hole in the scrunchie there, I just connected the ends, connected them together and pulled tightly to make a flower with the scrunchie. I wanted to do another scrunchie craft, and I started one, but what I decided to do was so complicated. It was overly complicated, and I already had 3 crafts, and I'd already used all my challenge items, and I thought, what are you doing to yourself? So I just quit that one. That might be in my next week's video, that craft, because I already started it and got it going. So I'm probably going to have a scrunchie craft in my next week's video. I used some watered down stain because I wanted the middle of that flower to stand out and there to be some contrast there. I used some regular not watered down antique wax to do a little bit of distressing around the sign. I used a piece of wired jute twine for the stem of the flower. It took some finagling to get it bent to where I thought it looked good. At first it didn't seem to be looking right. With that wired jute from Dollar Tree, I like to put Mod Podge on it because it unravels off the wire so easily. And so this piece here, I did that to this piece, so it was nice and stiff and it wasn't coming off the wire. I made a couple of leaves out of cardboard and I took the top layer of paper off of it just like so that it would match the other heart there. I used this little wooden block just as a spacer to try to make my markings even, to punch a couple of holes to put a hanger through on this sign. I thought about using the paper clips to make the hanger for this sign because I thought, well, that'll make all 3 challenge items in one craft. But I thought, no, that just wouldn't look as good for this craft. So I went ahead and used some of these beads that I got from Dollar Tree that were pre-stained, and I thought it matched close enough to that half bead inside the flower. And I'm just going to make a jute string hanger for it. These last 2 are really quick. I took another one of those doilies that I tea stained and I wanted to give it a little more character, so I printed off this heart graphic from the Graphics Fairy. I tore a little piece of this doily by using that tape runner on the more detailed cutout parts, and so I decided just to use the tape runner on the center of it for this craft and then use some double-sided tape on the jar to keep it on there. I bought this jar a long time ago. I'm going to put on the screen what it's called. Tried to use that tape runner on the jar, but it just wasn't, I don't know, because it was glass, it just wasn't wanting to accept it. So I used the double-sided tape around the edges. And then for one more decorative element, I used some jute twine and just wrapped it around the jar, just sort of higgledy-piggledy. And then that's it for this one. I thought this would be really cute to set out at Valentine's time and just have some treats in it. This would also be great to put a Valentine's gift in to give someone. I know that the ladies in my family would be just as excited about getting this large jar as they would about what's inside of it. I took this wood cutout, I believe I got it from Walmart, but I might have gotten it from Dollar Tree, I can't remember. And I'm staining it with antique wax. I have this thrifted frame here. I'm using the backing that came in the frame and I'm going to Mod Podge some fabric onto it. Once that dried, I cut away the excess and then popped it into the frame. And I just used some masking tape to hold this in place. You could also use some glue, but this is very lightweight when I'm putting in here, and so I didn't think I needed anything more than the tape. I used hot glue to put the heart on there, but I used some Aleene's clear tacky glue to attach the little key charm. I got a set of these key charms from Amazon. I can try to leave a link to those in the description box. And I thought about this after I did the craft. When I was looking at the picture on the computer of the craft, I thought what would be cute is if you punch some holes in the heart in the shape of a keyhole. So because, the reason why there's a key, it's like the key to my heart, obviously. And a keyhole would have made too much sense to do, so I just didn't think about it then. But then after looking at it, it occurred to me then. But that would be really cute to do as well. You could use a crocodile big bite, those thin wooden shapes. The crocodile cuts through it very easily. Don't forget that this is a part of the Just Our Imagination playlist. The link to that playlist is in the description box of this video. If you're unable to click the link because you're watching on a TV, just search Rustic and Lace DIY, and on Brenda's channel page, go down to her playlists and it will be there. I can't wait to see what everyone made with these items. You'll want to check out that playlist because these ladies are some awesome crafters. And I think there are some new crafters joining this month. These playlists are a great way to discover crafters you didn't know were out there. Sometimes I come across crafters that have been on YouTube a while and I think, why have I never seen this crafter? YouTube just didn't show them to me, I guess. Sometimes you have to go crafter hunting. That didn't sound right. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.